Hello everybody, Dr. Cari here, and today I'm going to talk to you about one of the diets that I give a basic thumbs down to, and that is intermittent fasting. I know, your sister said it's great and she lost all this weight, and I know, but wait, hear me out, okay? So, why don't I love intermittent fasting? How stressed out have you been lately? I don't love intermittent fasting because it actually taxes the adrenal system. And for most of us, that's a system that is already overtaxed in our body. So let me explain to you what happens in the body. When the body doesn't have glucose or ketones, something that it uses to make energy, it releases stress hormones to break down glucose stores in order to get the body to make energy. This is a survival mechanism. It is necessary that the body has the energy that it needs to do vital functions. Otherwise, things like brain cells start to die, the heart can't work, stuff like that. Big problems, right? So the body has multiple systems to help us deal with starvation, and one of them is the use of adrenal hormones. It's the first one that comes online, the use of a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that helps our body adjust to the immediate needs of the system. So you're sitting down, you stand up, a little cortisol is released to help your body vasoconstrict your vessels so that blood stays in your head and you don't get dizzy and pass out. If you're a person who gets dizzy when you stand up quickly, you're somebody whose adrenal system isn't working as well as it could be, thereby intermittent fasting, really not a good idea. So what happens is when we don't eat, our body kicks out cortisol, stress hormones, in order to get that glucose broken down. Now, it doesn't just say, hey, body, just use the cortisol for the glucose. That cortisol is a stress hormone, and it has a whole bunch of other effects, like suppressing the immune function, vasodilating the blood out to your limbs and extremities so that you can fight, flight, move, takes it away from the organs, takes it away from healing and repair. Not good. Takes it away from digestion. Not good for long-term health benefit. In my years of practicing medicine, erratic blood sugar is a major, major piece that I see in most chronic health issues. Let me say that again. Erratic blood sugar is one of the major contributors I see in most chronic health issues. So, I know, I did it myself. I ate limited amounts of food because I had a digestive disorder I was told I had to live with, and when I ate, I didn't feel good. And so I would eat like one meal a day. It was easier than if I didn't eat breakfast, I wasn't hungry for lunch. Yeah, I was jacked up on cortisol. All of that felt great until I completely crashed. I don't want that to happen for you. So what is intermittent fasting? There's a couple of ways that it's recommended. One is that for 5 days a week, you eat whatever, you eat as much as you want, and then 2 days a week, you eat a 500-calorie diet, a limited diet. In general, I like that principle. I like the principle of mixing it up a little bit. I don't like the 500 calories. That's way too restrictive. But, eating a normal way and then 2 days a week eating a little lighter, great. I'd have no problem with that. It's the extreme that I don't love, because the extreme really taxes the adrenal system. And if you're a person who's generally healthy and you've got a good, robust adrenal system, then intermittent fasting might actually, give it kind of a workout and build up some gusto to your adrenal system. But if you're a body that's tired, you're a body that has some health issues, you're stressed out, you've been stressed out for a while, then that is not going to be helpful. I went over to a friend's house, and she's like, yeah, I'm intermittent fasting and I'm just loving it and it's great and it's the best thing ever, and she's talking like this and I'm like, oh my God, you are so jacked up on cortisol right now. And then I started seeing the labs. You know, this was kind of sort of what I suspected. I kept saying, I don't understand this. I don't understand how this helps, and I don't understand how this works. And then I started seeing the labs, and the people who are new to intermittent fasting, when we wake up in the morning, our cortisol level is high in a balanced state. And that is to wake us up and get our body going, but it drops very quickly down to a much lower level and then kind of cruises throughout the day and then goes even lower at night. That's a normal cortisol curve. But the people that were coming in on intermittent fasting that they had recently started, they had jacked up cortisol. It was way too high. And people with way too high cortisol, you're not hungry in the morning. So intermittent fasting sounds fantastic. You're like, what? I don't need to eat in the morning. Hey, and now I have permission not to eat in the morning. Actually, you need to eat in the morning so that you can get that cortisol level to drop down, because that high cortisol, high, that system's going to burn out. And high cortisol, you can go online and search. It has all kinds of health problems, right? So the other one that I see are people who've been doing it a long time. They were intermittent fasting probably before it was even a thing. Breakfast skippers, low cortisol, flatliners we call them. And they really have a hard time getting out of bed in the morning. They need coffee to get going. Their system's dragging. Listen, you don't have what it takes for the body to even respond anymore to the low blood sugar. So now you're just starving your body, and that's just really dangerous and not good for your health. I have to tell you, in my 20 years of practice, the people who erratically eat are usually the people that have health challenges. So adding in erratic eating when you are already prone to that is not a good idea. It encourages people in bad habits that they already have. So please, if you're gonna do intermittent fasting, do a 10-14, 14 hours between dinner and breakfast. It's a really balanced amount of time. That's fine. That'll help that cortisol curve come down. But no more than that, not if you're healing. And then make sure that you're eating at regular intervals. Make sure that you are keeping your blood sugar balanced. I talk about that a little bit in my book, The Food Solution. And if you're doing this, you're eating in this way, make sure that you're eating high quality food. That's super, super, super important. So in my book, The Food Solution, I go through that. I've got the course now to make it. If you're not a reader, you can listen to me talk. I give you information that isn't in the book, as well as stuff in the book. The book was designed for an easy read. I'm not just trying to sell you the book. It's 20 years of my experience of helping people change their diet, distilled down into these pages that give you what is really important for your health and well-being. So we might diet for a period of time to lose some weight, but what we want to do is learn to eat in ways that are healthy and balanced. And I just don't find intermittent fasting to be done by most people in ways that do that. And so I got to give it a thumbs down, folks. I'm so sorry. Listen, it's, you know, my clients that come in that are having the biggest health challenges, I tell you, they're like, oh, I decided to intermittent fast. Okay. It's 4 o'clock and I haven't eaten yet. Yeah, no, no. You've just been in a stress state all day. Cortisol levels have been high and zero healing has been happening. When cortisol levels are high, we do not heal. Why? Because when the body is in a stress state, it could care less about whether or not you have a cold, or whether or not, you know, you need, there's some repair that needs to go on. So please, 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 if you're going to intermittent fast, if you're a person who eats all the time, well, great. Take it down to 10-14. Make sure you're eating balanced meals in between that. Check out blood sugar regulation in my book. And let's look for another way to help you get those pounds off and to keep you healthy in the process. We don't need any more stress right now. We've just come out of a very, 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 and we're still in it in many ways, very stressful time for those of us here in the United States and all over the world. So please, let's not encourage more stress. Sending you all so much love, and stay tuned. We'll be talking about some other diets as we go along.